What's up, everyone? Welcome to a live stream of Crypto Tips. My name is Toby.
My name is Heidi.
So, really quickly, here's some cool stuff. All right, Lex Friedman, who's a podcaster, had Ray Dalio on, and Ray Dalio said a couple things, and I'm gonna tell you why this is significant. All right, so he said Bitcoin has proven itself. Okay, cool, fine. And then he also said Bitcoin is an alternative money. We are entering an era of competition of money. And so why is this a big deal? Yeah, a lot of people here have entered Bitcoin well before Ray Dalio. But the thing is, Ray Dalio has billionaire friends, a lot of billionaire friends. And there's actually a Ricardo Salinas, a billionaire from Mexico, just was talking positive about Bitcoin as well. I think he bought some Bitcoin. So there is a lot of positive stuff happening with Bitcoin, with institutions buying and big money. Big money is starting to realize, wow, there's really no alternative of like centralized currencies anymore. Like there's no alternative to expand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's centralized or decentralized options.
Yeah.
But it's what we've been talking about since we first started doing these live streams. Over 2 years ago.
Jeez,
Was it February 2020 is when we started?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm realizing now what you saying about Ray Dalio is that for so many years we were saying how, these guys are talking down Bitcoin because they're accumulating their positions. They're not ready to put their stamp of approval. And what that means for retail investors to pour in, they haven't got their positions yet. That was true with Jamie Dimon and the employees at Chase. And, he was threatening to
get rid of people.
Yeah, fire people who are trading Bitcoin or whatever. And then now it comes out he's a huge proponent of Bitcoin. And Ray Dalio also was someone who was hyper negative about Bitcoin as well, saying how risky it was, talking about it, but in a negative light, trying to drive the price down while he was buying. Yes. And so now that he is saying he's putting his stamp of approval on, they're ready to let it rip. They're ready for us to see.
They're getting ready for that, for sure.
They're not ready yet.
When they let it rip, you guys are going to know. So I think it's going to be very apparent.
The countdown is starting.
Exactly.
Ooh.
What's up, Nick? The Steak Dingo. Hey.
Hi, everyone in the live chat.
What's up, guys?
Thank
Dave
you for tuning in.
Good to see you. Mike Foster. Roger Coleman. What's up, buddy?
You know him?
I think so. Dave, let's see. Let's see who else. Archer Bullseye. Thank you so much for helping out. Andrew.
He's a hero of this channel. If you guys give a shout out to Archer, he's a really great contributor to this channel now. If you are in our Discord, you're probably talking to him because he's all over. So shout out to you, Archer. Thank you for your help here.
Yeah. So let's get into some interesting stuff.
Web 3.0.
Yeah. And so first off, we're also gonna talk about Michael Saylor as well, who also
do we like him or do we not like him?
Doesn't like Web 3.0. And people are gonna be like, really? Okay, we'll see.
W, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's read this message.
All right, go for it.
So my final paycheck came today. Left my job. From now on, I will be a farmer on different chains. Okay, I have enough BTC Ethereum to live from the yield now. But is it normal? I still feel a bit scary about the final decision. It is a big step to go fully detach yourself from the traditional way of earning money and going full crypto. Congratulations that you're even in the realm of being able to consider that. Time will tell, but yeah, I think it's amazing. And that's just a symptom of what crypto can do for lots of other people as well, is opening all these different doors of earning enough passive income from enough different sources that you can cut ties to the same old 9 to 5 that maybe you didn't exactly like going to.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I was telling my friends back in 2000, 13, 14. I'm like, hey guys, quit your jobs. You don't need your jobs. What you need is after, like I said, go full-time in Bitcoin, then quit your jobs. Try to cut down on hours with your work that you're doing, and then eventually you won't have to work anymore. And they thought it was nuts. I told one of my best friends to do that, and
but for a lot of people that is nuts. That is a big risk that some people aren't willing to take. So some people aren't going to see the potential extreme upsides of taking on that risk as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what I did. I did it a little sooner. I worked 17 hours a day, 7 days a week back in like 2013, 2014. And I was living on the floor in a bachelor pad, with roommates everywhere, and just super dirty place, but it was cheap. And I was like willing to live on the streets before I even sold any Bitcoin, and I think that's a really important mindset. Like if you understand where we are heading in this space, it's a lot easier to be able to do that. And yes, I have a really extreme mindset. Obviously, I surf Nazare, but I think that kind of helps out. But for the average, for a normal person that's not crazy like me or whatever, it's scary to leave your job just because you're like, well, what happens if this doesn't pan through? But I mean, we all kind of know where this space is heading, So as far as like the stress levels, I wouldn't be too concerned. I think you're going to be set for life, and your family's going to be set for life as well, as long as you are investing correctly and following people like us and others, that have been in this space for a while, not just some billionaire guy that hops on and gets popular in 1 year with Twitter or whatever. People that have done it for a long time know where this space is heading. So congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, I think the longevity of crypto is proving itself. It's here to stay. And more so, if you're doing that as a full-time job, you're going to be so on it. You're going to have all this time to devote to keeping on top of what's happening in crypto, taking the most advantageous moves to stay on top of it. So, we had a couple of really good questions that we're going to get to. I want to answer these first before we get into the topic, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Tony Leal, thank you for your question. I know you are a new CT Club member, so thank you for joining. His question is, when researching a coin and you find yourself in a tough call for whatever reason, how often do you go with a gut feeling and still buy versus staying away? I mean, right off the bat, my gut instinct is basically it depends at what part of the bull run we are. If it's the beginning stages, I think we're a lot more liberal in what we're getting into because at that point you really don't know what's going to take off. As the bull run matures, I think we're a little bit more conservative. Correct me if I'm wrong, Toby.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Because at that point we've already, put our money placed our bets, if you will.
But I still
we're still open-minded.
I still give, like, on our CT Club, I give trade alerts, and I'm like, all right, well, I think this coin could really go skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And, some of these coins have a $10 million market cap. Like, they got a long way to go, and they're super risky, and a lot of them, like the one tweet I gave not too long ago, Depot, that doesn't have, it only has 1 million volume for the day, which isn't very much. And yeah, it's super risky because what if whales don't catch on to that? And because you want whales to catch on to that because they want, that's where the money's going to be, and that's where retail is going to go because they're going to see, oh, wow, the price is moving. Oh, I got to get into this. They're going to FOMO into that. That's why the prices move like crazy.
That's where like the more long-term profits come in rather than just like a 24-hour pump and dump.
Yeah.
Next question to cover. Also, here we go. A friend takes profit into Bitcoin instead of stable coins because for him, Bitcoin is even more stable than gold, or at least a much more better inflation hedge than gold. What do you think about that in regards to an upcoming bear market? Going into Bitcoin instead of stable coins.
I mean, that could be really good as long as you have a 5 to 10 year outlook. Like that's what I do for us. Like we have some Bitcoin that we are not going to sell, like at pretty much for a very, very, very long time. Especially like whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's very smart. But also, I think there is a time where you can use a stable coin to your benefit. So for instance, if you do see a blow off top like crazy, just the price is doubling every other day or whatever, I'm going to definitely take profits,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put them in the stable coins, because that thing, what goes up like that fast is going to come down probably twice as fast. So yeah, you just got to be really careful. And I think that's where stables come in, especially like decentralized stables, to where, it's not so regulated.
Or the threat of getting snuffed out, basically.
Yeah, so like DAI stable and UST, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's many different, something we're always saying too, there's many different ways to find success in the crypto space. Dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin is a tried and true investment method that is very profitable if you have a long-term mindset. And like Toby said, basically, yeah, get into crypto or get into Bitcoin, take your profits into Bitcoin if you can stomach a bear market, if you can stomach that dip that will happen. And you can if you are solid in your mindset of a long-term investment plan with it.
So what's it? Diamond Fist says, what is it like being the coolest and most famous crypto couple?
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of nice. I think we're the coolest. It's good. We definitely bounce ideas off of each other. Like my strong points are different from Heidi's strong points, and it just meshes really good.
It's been a learning process, especially for those of you who are new to this channel. Speaking from my own experiences, like I've been at the forefront of this channel for several years, and I've loved, obviously, having Toby come on and to have someone to actually interact with in front of a camera rather than me just talking to a screen or whatever. And, obviously he's my husband, and so to have him on here is really cool. Yeah. Expose him to the world.
I was a bit hesitant to come on this channel just because, once you open the door to fame and, a public,
what is your personal life
figure,
at all?
You cannot shut that door. But I really had that desire to go ahead and be on this show because I do have stuff to share that not a lot of people are sharing, you know, and I think my personality will fit well with changing the world, especially in crypto. So, yeah.
But also exactly what you were saying before is your strengths are different than mine. So you definitely bring a different angle to this channel, which I think is all for the best. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Somebody asked about just use your job as a means to an end and buy crypto. Yeah. That's what I did. But, right now our job is our CT club, and this is our job as well. But it's
this is our job.
Yes.
Period.
But even if we weren't getting paid, I'd still go ahead and do this. For instance, YouTube doesn't pay that much, no. But it's still I want to go on YouTube because it's good to have somebody sharing knowledge that I have to the world. I wish I had somebody like me to share with me back in 2013. Yeah. Or whatever.
And not even saying what we're saying or whatever is the end all be all. It's just a perspective that you can get exposure to challenge maybe what you're originally thinking, to inspire you to look into something that maybe you didn't think of before. That's basically, what I want to be providing for you all. So I hope that we're doing it. But anyway. Okay, should we get to today's topic?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's go. All right.
Web 3.0.
Yeah. Web 3.0.
What the heck is Web 3.0? We should start with that, probably.
Okay, well, you go Web 1.
Okay, so when the internet first launched in the 80s, basically all you could do with it is view a web page, HTML page. You couldn't interact with it whatsoever. You could just type in the address and read the information. And then Web 2.0 came around where it became much more interactive. Things like social media started popping up. Hello, Twitter. MySpace, Twitter, Facebook.
Instagram.
When it all went wrong. Stuff. No. Yeah. Basically, centralized companies found themselves in a very lucrative position and in control of a lot of the data that you and I and whoever else participating in social media was providing freely, because we were benefiting in being able to interact with people around the world very fastly, sharing photos, videos, thoughts, conversations, whatever. But all of this was happening on very centralized servers, on companies that were essentially owning everything you're talking about. This is still happening today, of course, on these centralized social media platforms. Web 3.0 is basically allowing you to take ownership of your data, decentralizing the internet.
Yeah.
So decentralized social media, decentralized servers, maybe not, non-centralized servers that are storing your data. That is a point of contention that we will be talking about.
It's kind of like a coin that I'm going to be sharing with you tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow?
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday, right? So it's a coin that decentralizes like the making of
computing
movies,
power,
rendering things. So and NFTs, and you're going to be blown away with who's backing this stuff. So and so this is Web 3.0. So my question is, like, that I brought a couple of days ago, I'm like, why is Jack Dorsey against Web 3.0? Like, it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. From all the other things that he could have pointed out, he's bashing Web 3.0 because there's going to be VCs and liquidity providers making a lot of money off that. So what? We made money off of being early adopters from crypto and making a CT Club and providing a service to you guys.
The early movers, the people who are building things, they will benefit from that financially, obviously.
Exactly.
But a lot of, and we actually got quite a lot of comments also on critiquing, a lot of these platforms that are supposedly being built for Web 3.0, using things like Amazon Web Services, Amazon Cloud Computing to host things. So in all reality, Amazon is actually hosting a lot of things having to do with cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. This is actually a video that I was planning. I've been wanting to do a video on this for over a year now, and I was waiting to do it during a bear market because I figured not very many people would want to hear about this unless you're in a bear market and you're still interested in crypto. But this conversation, let us know in the comments down below if you're interested in that video. All the different crypto platforms that use Amazon Web Services. You might be surprised. But anyway, that is a legit concern. But here's the thing, is that the difference between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0 is that Web 3.0 gives you an option, just like how cryptocurrencies give you an option outside of fiat currencies. You have an option to participate on platforms that give you the right to privacy, that give you ownership over your data, that give you the ability to monetize your data and actually earn a passive income from it. Yeah. So freaking A. Why wouldn't anyone want to be a little bit excited about that?
I don't know why Jack was doing it. So it does give you a red flag because, Jack is a Bitcoin maximalist, pretty much. And so is Michael Saylor, who also, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I'm
sure he appreciates that.
Yeah, for sure. But he does kind of not like Web 3.0. And why do I say that? Because he really loves regulations. And so if you love regulation, you're inviting middlemen in.
You're requiring middlemen to come into the equation.
Forcing, yeah. So, like, what? Why would you do that? Like, you're going to ruin a perfectly good thing that's going on? Like, what do you think? Government's going to protect you? Give me a break.
He loves gatekeepers.
He does, but... So part of me, some people are like, well, he's saying this so that, he can play like 3D chess right now, whereas he's like, oh yeah, regulations are needed. It's needed. It's needed. And then
he's saying what he has to.
He's saying what he has to because, he does have a huge position in Bitcoin and he's, part of his company is. Exactly. It kind of is.
What a waste of your platform.
Exactly.
To be voicing that.
Yes. That's what I say that too. And it kind of drives me nuts because, a lot of good people that we've actually had on our channel as well, like Robert Breedlove, they've had really good discussions with Saylor. But Breedlove is the opposite. He's like, dude, get government out of crypto, no regulations. See you later. This is a free market here, and it's decentralized, and people can have the freedom to use it, whether or not, if they want to or not. And a lot of the feedback is like, well, hey, if you don't have regulation, how are you going to protect people? Well, you know what? We're big boys and girls, like we need to start taking responsibility for ourselves. You can't always have somebody holding your hand everywhere you go. And if you do want that, then there is that option. You don't have to choose crypto. But if you do want that option, choose decentralized.
Yeah. And what's so cool is that the lack of regulation has breeded a lot of, just like how open source has led from Bitcoin to other cryptocurrencies, that whole concept of sharing honest information for the betterment of the whole space. You've seen so many websites and people contributing freely to audits, to places that help you learn what is the health of a cryptocurrency. It's breeding. There's tools available for anyone here to learn so much more about a cryptocurrency, investment project, farming, DeFi, whatever, much more freely than whatever you could find with more traditional investments. There's a great flow of free information available in cryptocurrencies because it's unregulated. That's the kind of self-regulation that is forming now, because most people who want cryptocurrency to continue to thrive, they realize that means weeding out the scam artists. We don't need regulators to do that. Regulators are going to look out for their own best interests. They're going to look out. The thing that they're most interested in regulating are stable coins, probably the least scammy thing happening in crypto. But that's what they're focused on because that's what's most threatening to them. They could care less about you as an investor. There's a lot of people contributing to this cryptocurrency space to give you free information to make your own decisions, to make your own investment choices, and to avoid scams. There's a lot of different tools for that. So explore it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at where regulations have got you, look at the financial situation that the U.S. is in. Look at all the regulations, how much it helped to get the U.S. into $29 trillion in debt, plus unfunded liabilities and derivatives, which are probably, like, global derivatives are around, it could be a quadrillion right now. But on book, I think it's about 200 trillion. So that's this is regulations for you. That's where it got you. That's the regulations got you tied up with the credit crisis back in 2007, 2008. Look at that. Look at what all the regulations did. They bought and paid the rating agencies, the amount of disgustingness that happens with regulations when you step into that realm, it's filthy, and you're going to have a lot of diseases that comes with that. The government is full of diseases, and it's going to give it to you. And you don't want them touching this crypto stuff. That is why I'm really excited, actually, with that the crypto space is moving so fast that governments can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Which is great. And my suggestion to people that are in this space and big money and big influencers is don't help these guys at all. Let them struggle to figure this stuff out by themselves, because I'm telling you right now, people are worried about regulations, but you know what? The smartest people in the world are working outside of government. They're not working for government, obviously. They're working outside of government, and they're actually because
they don't need a government job.
No, exactly. They want to be creative. They don't want bureaucracy or regulations. They don't want red tape. This is a coder, the best coders in the world. I can promise you right now that they don't want that stuff. They want creativity, and the more you push, the more that these guys are going to build around.
They're going to protect that as best as they can. Exactly.
Yeah. So all government does is dig themselves a hole, even bigger. Like Andreas Antonopoulos said back in 2013, 14, he's like, governments are about 10 years behind this space. And
that was a long time ago. That was already almost 10 years ago.
And back then, I could actually keep up with what was happening in this space. Now, give me a break.
As a singular person, no, now you need like a team of people.
Exactly. So, anyways, Let's move on to some questions here. Okay,
Yeah.
Toby and Heidi, question. Cheers from Windsor, California. When will you start selling off altcoins to consolidate major positions like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana? First off, we will let everybody know within 5 minutes of us like dollar cost averaging out of this stuff. So I'm going to look at Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, I'm going to look at if it does a blow off top. Like I said,
We have a specific price point in mind for Bitcoin.
Yes.
If and when it hits that's when we'll start making moves.
I'll start looking at 100K of Bitcoin to see what the alts are doing, because usually Bitcoin does rise and then the alts skyrocket. So Mark Twain says, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it does rhyme. So you don't know whether or not it's going to go skyrocketing after the alts are going to skyrocket after Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous thing. So I'm going to look and see what happens and then make my decision from there. But like I said, I'll let everybody know.
Nilly Vanilli, love your name. I know this is the second time you voiced this question. What are the exchanges you use most for selling and buying? Thank you for existing. You two are truly awesome. Thank you so much for your comment and your question. We use Binance.com most of the time for our buying and selling, just because they list a lot of coins. It's pretty easy. But for those that are super early, what are we using?
I mean, we use Uniswap, for instance, or Solana's like Radium. I mean, there's a lot of decentralized platforms that are actually really cheap to use.
Trader Joe's.
Definitely Trader Joe's. But Uniswap, is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It can be extremely expensive.
You can try 1inch. It's a DEX aggregator for Ethereum. I know it's not a guarantee for like super cheap transactions.
It's not.
But it is. It's not. Okay. It is
it's
not
so,
Toby approved.
I don't know. I mean, I'd rather I've seen cheaper prices on Uniswap version 2 or 3 or whatever, but not 1inch. Yeah.
I've heard good things about KuCoin as well. I haven't personally used it, so I can't speak from experience, but that's a good good substitute as well if you're looking for one.
Especially for like low cap coins on KuCoin. Yeah. There's a lot of gems that I've talked about.
Those are much more for like crypto to crypto trades. If you're looking for like a fiat on-ramp that's really reputable, I recommend Kraken.com. Can't go wrong with that one.
Crypto 10, artificial pump going on right now. Oh, it's always an artificial pump. I mean, it's just,
when is it not an artificial pump?
Yeah, who knows? I don't really care about the temporary price of Bitcoin, but I do market alerts, and I talk to people like what I think is actually happening. And a lot of it's a game. This is all a game. You do have a lot of whales that have a lot of power in this space, and so they let it rise, they let it fall, and they like to destroy confidence, and so they like it to buy when the fear and greed index is below 50, especially
and so should you.
So should you. That's
the best time to dollar cost average.
That's why I'm telling people like, hey, this is it. Was CT membership increased?
The price hasn't increased. It's still $15 a month if you do want to choose to join the CT club. We are building a website to host this membership.
LearningCrypto.com.
Yes. Yeah. Patreon is a good starter platform, but they do take a chunk of profit, and the layout of that website is just not very user-friendly, so we're trying to make a website that will be much more easy to find information quickly and facilitate the community a lot better. So there might be a price increase when that happens. We're definitely interested in grandfathering in people who have joined prior to that, but that is in the works. It is not ready yet, but of course we will be letting you guys know when that is ready to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tracy Stark, hi from
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Good to see you. Oh, exciting world of cryptos. Do you think a major groundbreaking change will happen in crypto on a project that we are all confident with in the future?
Sure. I mean, I feel like we see that every couple of years. We see something groundbreaking happening in crypto. Yeah,
there's always something groundbreaking. Whether it's DeFi
security,
or whether it's
privacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another way to make a passive income, another way for your money to be working for you.
So
Definitely.
JL asks, what are your thoughts on virtual land? Will these drop during a bear market? Absolutely. They're going to get crushed like no other. And that is why
That's if people sell. Do you think people are going to sell their land? Like, for example, when you first got into buying up all these lands, do you think people are going to sell them? Yeah.
Yes, people will sell them.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then if you missed the boat the first time around, maybe check it out in a bear market.
Yeah. But hey, mark my word on that. I am so confident that they are going to sell they're going to sell. And
are you going to sell?
It's going to crash big time.
Are you going to sell your land?
No. I'm not going to sell some of the land because for instance, I don't mind. I have to use my time wisely, So there are things that I can do to take advantage of, the top of the bull market. But also, as far as getting out of land and stuff and trying to find sellers and stuff. Yes, I'm gonna do a lot of that. But there are a couple pieces of land that I'm probably going to keep because it's like 2017. The airdrop of CryptoPunks, they had simple airdrops, guys, and now they're worth, from several 50 ETH or 60 ETH or 70 ETH up to 1,000 something ETH or 2,000 ETH.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made about especially virtual land is the scarcity of it. Same reason why a lot of people are comfortable holding Bitcoin long term because of the scarcity of it. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the bull market, bear market.
This guy says, Jeff Sneak, any comment on Reggie Middleton? Oh, wow, I haven't heard of that guy in so long. I think he was on Veritasium or something. I don't know what happened to that guy. I don't know what happened to Veritasium. I haven't followed that.
That was a promising project.
That was a long time ago. Man, that was the good old days in this. That was some OGs back then. Toby and Heidi, any favorite NFT metaverse projects? What are your views on Ecomi? Well, I think that there are, I'm not in that. I am in, OVR. So I've been buying OVR, or I bought OVR when we were in Indonesia. And I bought, Meta Hero. Which isn't virtual land. It's just essentially augmented reality. So it's for instance, it scans people that if you want to be scanned, and then it scans your pet or whatever and put you in the metaverse. Yeah, really weird, but that's where the future's going, unfortunately.
Okay, so I think this should be our last question, okay. But it's a good one from Nick.
Sergio, what's up, buddy?
Great. Yeah. Hey, Sergio.
Caesar, what's up?
Sergio, by the way, I found another good olive oil here in Portugal. It's named Carm. CARM. It's BO. Anyway, let me know if you like it. Nick, his question: if you had to start from the bottom in crypto again today, having to go back to work to earn money, how many Bitcoin would you want to accumulate before quitting your jobs again? Good question.
You go.
I got wiped out.
You go for it.
I mean, I feel like the goal should always be 1 Bitcoin, right?
Absolutely.
It's that nice round Bitcoin, round number.
1 Bitcoin or even a half a Bitcoin, quarter Bitcoin. It just depends on where you live.
It depends if it's a bear market when you're buying again.
Sure.
I think if we were starting fresh, but we still had the knowledge that we do, I would definitely be buying what I can now, knowing to take profits, and then really focusing on accumulating during a bear market, or at least at the bottom of the bear market.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, seriously.
What about Ethereum?
Ethereum, I'm going to hold.
How many Ethereum would you want to get?
I mean,
before quitting your job.
It depends on where you are. If you're in the U.S., you're probably going to need more than some guy in Calcutta or whatever. Just it really depends on where you live. If you live in Indonesia, it's going to cost you way less. You need way less to live off of out there. For instance, New York, you might need 1,000 ETH, per freaking day or whatever to survive or whatever. It's so friggin' expensive. I don't know. It's just being ridiculous, but something like that. So
he's living in the penthouse.
You gotta figure out what your cost of living is, and I think that'll kind of give you an answer for that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. Oh, last question. What about
It wouldn't be a live stream if we didn't get one more question.
So what about NFTs in a bear market? That's a really good question.
We did a video on that.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get crushed, but I think it'll be a good idea to go ahead and maybe buy some of the popular ones right now that are right now. That's what I'm going to do when we get into a bear market. I'm going to buy the crap out of these things, because I'm going to have Tether. I'm going to USDT, USDC, USDG. Yep. I'm going to have a whole plethora of stuff that I'm going to be banking on, loaning out on BlockFi or
Aave,
Compound or whatever. So yeah, we're going to kill it. All of us are going to freaking kill it. It's going to be so fun. I literally can't wait for the bear market because, man, there's going to be some great deals. But the only thing that's difficult in a bear market is telling like where the next part of crypto is going to be, because like
what's popular now might not be popular
exactly
3 years from now.
Look at the beginning of like the DeFi bull run, like when we started back in 2020, like some of the coins that I was super bullish on went to poop, but others went crazy that we were in.
They went Vikaga.
Anyways, yeah. So anyways.
Tommy's favorite Portuguese phrase.
Anyways, guys, have a great one. And last one, JL. ETH domains, absolutely. Buy your ETH domain today. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah. Someone already got crypto tips.
Yeah, somebody got crypto tips. Good luck using it, buddy. It's not going to be able to use it very well. All right, talk to you soon. Stay disobedient, and we love you guys. All right.
Bye, guys.
Merry Christmas.